Good afternoon, Falcons. My name is Dr. Dominguez, and I am the VAPA principal here at Feaster Charter School. Welcome to our afternoon coffee with the admin team. Today we have our executive director, Mr. Rosario Villareal. We also have Dr. Sleiman, who is our interim STEM principal, where today we'll be sharing some upcoming news and as well as some updates. And so we are thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Just to share a couple of things that are coming up or are on the horizon. This week we are in the middle of parent conferences, which Dr. Sleiman will be sharing more about momentarily. And we are right on the horizon of our 2-week fall break, which begins this Saturday, so September 18th, and students will return to campus on October 5th. So we can't wait to see them, and we hope you all have a very restful break. But before then, we have a couple of updates and reminders that we would like to share with our community. So just to share what our agenda is this afternoon, we'll be sharing some information regarding our COVID-19 updates, and I'll be sharing some of the new protocols as well as policies, and also our current numbers and our data. We also have our parent-teacher conferences informational slide, which Dr. Sleiman will be sharing, as well as our 4-year monitoring. And then lastly, our executive director will close us out for the afternoon. So, as you know, we have COVID-19 as a very top priority here at Feaster Charter School. We have been working very diligently, not only with our school nurse, but also with our health attendance clerks, our teachers, our front office, our custodial staff. Really, it has been a all hands on deck type of situation to make sure that we are stopping the spread and limiting the amount of students as well as community members that have, could potentially have COVID-19. And so we have very strict protocols in place and very strict policies in place as well. And so one of our latest policies is, our new mask policy, and you may have received information about this in your emails a couple of weeks ago, but just so that everyone has the same information, we do have a new mask policy in place, which means that while students are, any staff, student, or parents that are on campus must be wearing their mask throughout the entire time. And so it does need to be fully around your face, including your nose as well as your mouth. And that's really just to stop the spread of any potential germs or so forth. And so we want to make sure that our students and community continues to stay safe, and as is the reason as to why we have this new mask policy. Additionally, just for your information, we do have some exceptions when it comes to students. And so students, while they are playing outside on the playground, they are not required to wear their mask. However, when they begin to transition to walking towards their classroom or walking to another destination outside of the play area, we are asking them or requiring rather that they do wear their mask. And so just as a friendly reminder, if you could please send your students with masks to school. Of course, we have extra, and we do have additional masks here, but it's always helpful when students bring their own mask. We have about a little over 1,100 students, 1,150, and so we want to make sure that each student is coming to campus with a mask and prepared for the day. And so some additional information when it comes to COVID-19, we are beginning to schedule field trips, which students are very excited about. Our group of 3rd graders have scheduled their field trips to the Living Coast Center. And so the question about chaperones has come up a couple of times. And so just for your knowledge, we are allowing chaperones to accompany the class. The requirement is that it needs to be 2 vaccinated parents a max of 2 vaccinated parents, and so you would need to show proof of vaccination and get that cleared before the field trip. And so, like I mentioned, our students are very excited about being able to attend field trips and having that additional learning experience. And so, with that, I want to again give a huge shout out to our health team, Miss Tommy, as well as Miss Melissa, including Miss Marcela and Miss Marta up in the front office. We have done an amazing job making sure that we are limiting the amount of individuals exposed to COVID-19. And so as soon as we get a report that there is a positive COVID case, we have a very systematic and structured process as to how we make sure that we're following all the processes and the protocols. And so if you have received a call, it has most likely been from Miss Melissa or Miss Tommy providing you with the next steps, whether your child was a close contact and or whether or not your child tested positive. And so through our processes, we have been able to limit the amount of people who have tested positive, and we certainly think we're doing our part to make sure that number stays is minimal. And so since our first week of school, we have now been in school for 8 weeks. I know it's kind of hard to imagine, but 8 full weeks, and during that time we've had a total of 36 cases. And so I, again, want to give a huge shout out to our teams in place and also our teachers, because our teachers have been doing an excellent job. As soon as students share that they have any symptoms whatsoever, whether it's a runny nose or a headache, they immediately send students to our nurse to be assessed and await next steps. And so this has certainly been a team effort, and I believe that has contributed to the fact that we have really have a control over the amount of positive cases that have come up here at Feaster. And so lastly, the last point that I'll make is that as you know, as soon as we receive a positive case, we want to make sure that the community is informed that there was a positive case. And so part of our process includes not only informing the close contacts of the fact that they were potential, that they were close contacts, but also the greater community, and letting all staff and parents know that there was indeed a positive case. So you may have already, or you may continue to receive those emails from the Feaster office email, just communicating that there was a positive case, and that is to help and support with the transparency that we are embracing in these times, and making sure that everyone is aware of where we are when it comes to COVID-19. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Dr. Sleiman, and she will be sharing some information related to parent conferences.
Hi, good afternoon, parents. Muy buenas tardes. I'm so happy that you're here with us. We just have a few reminders when it comes to parent-teacher conferences, and then as well as just as we welcome students back from fall break. So we kicked off parent-teacher conferences last week on the 9th of September. And as you've seen, we do have dismissal every single day from now until the end of the quarter at 1:30 every single day. We do have conferences that are being held virtually on Teams or on Zoom. And so if you haven't had an opportunity yet to touch base with your student's teacher, please ensure to contact them and they will get your student's conference scheduled with them. At parent-teacher conferences, just a few things that you can expect. So for our elementary students, we have our fall conference form that is being shared. And so on here, you will find just overall levels of where your student currently is at in terms of reading, writing, and math instruction, as well as you'll also be receiving our Mind Labs report card. Just as a reminder, the Mind Labs report card is just a report card for each of the quarters. Your student has access to one of our 7 disciplines here on campus. So an example of that would be your student might be taking science and art, and you'll have the report card for that current quarter. For middle school, we have transitioned to standards-based progress reports. And so you will be receiving the progress reports for our middle school students. And again, it's a progress report because grades are not final for middle school students until the end of the semester. For middle school students, you'll also be seeing their Mind Labs report card to just let you know what their progress has been in the quarter that they have had access to 2 out of the 7 disciplines. And so again, if you don't have a parent-teacher conference scheduled quite yet, please make sure that you contact your student's teacher, and the teacher will make sure that they are in contact with you and make sure to see you. So just some more reminders. So if you are the parent of a student who has learned any other language other than English as their primary language, your student is classified as an English language learner here on campus. And every single year, our students do take the LPAC test, which monitors the proficiency of English language that your student has mastered up until that school year. And so with our students that have been reclassified, so students that have shown a mastery of the English language in all 4 of the LPAC domains, they are eligible for reclassification. However, that does not just end there, and their monitoring and their progress doesn't just end when they are reclassified. And so this form that you're seeing in front of you, this form is completed 3 times a year, in September, in January, and in May. And on the form, what you will see is basically the teachers will indicate if your student has needs any improvement, or if they are meeting currently their needs for that particular subject area. So you'll see this filled out not only for reading, but also for writing, mathematics, and class participation. And so we do monitor all of our English language learners over a 4-year period that have been reclassified, just to ensure that they have the proper interventions in place to continue to ensure their success. And so this, again, was sent home, or is currently being sent home with you. And again, it's filled out in September, January, and May. And so we do need these forms completed, and we do need them signed and reviewed by yourselves and brought back to your student's teacher as soon as possible. And last but not least, we just have a few reminders before we kick off our fall break. So as Dr. Dominguez stated, our fall break is from September 20th through October 1st. Our students do return on Tuesday, October 5th. It is a regular school day, so students will be here from 8:15 until 3:05 if they are kindergartners, first graders, and if not, they're here from 8:15 to 3:15 for 2nd grade through 8th grade. We will also have new after-school clubs available for students. And so we do encourage your students, if they are in an after-school club or didn't participate in one for this quarter, to please see their Mind Labs teacher to obtain a permission slip so that they can participate in those after-school clubs. We will make sure to just send out a reminder right before we come back from break, letting you know of what clubs are available, so that way your student can sign up for this upcoming 2nd quarter. And that is all the reminders we have, at least for parent-teacher conferences and for our fall conferences. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Villareal for just some closing words.
Thank you, Dr. Sleiman. Thank you, Dr. Dominguez. On behalf of myself, Mr. Villareal, and our administrative team, we are truly grateful and thankful to you, the parents, for your patience during this very trying time for all of us, I'll say, including ourselves. We have a mini city that we're running here on campus at Feaster, 1,150 something odd students. It's quite a bit and quite a lot. And our goal is to ensure that all students are safe, happy, and learning while they're here at school. Of course, it's impossible to ensure that 100% of our students are always going to have that type of experience, but that is our goal. Please let us know when you feel that your son or daughter may need some support, or something was done as a harm and that there needs to be reparation. We are here to support you with that. I want to really also take an opportunity to thank our staff, our teachers, teachers, our certificated staff, and our classified staff. They have done a tremendous job in adapting to the new expectations and continually adapting as expectations change, and they've done it with a lot of grace. Thank you, teachers, and thank you, classified staff, for doing what you do. We also want to mention that we are super also grateful for our students. They are really humble. They want to be here at school. They want to be with their friends. They want to socialize while they are learning. So they are doing their very best to also abide by our expectations. All students are doing what they need to do with their masks. They have them on. If there is a need for a reminder, they quickly will put on a mask or will let us know that their mask broke and they need a new one, and we gladly give them one, then they put it right on. So understand that while at school, your kids are not having any issues with the mask. However, we understand that it may be uncomfortable, but thank you, students, for doing your part. Parents, know and understand that this quarter, which is now going to be over in a couple of days, has been a successful one. Whether or not some of us believe it, it's been successful. We haven't had many issues, as you saw in the reporting of the COVID cases, an average of 5-6 students a week out of 1,150. Again, it's very minimal with the cases that are out in the community. So I thank everyone for doing their part. Continue to be resilient. Continue to understand the purpose of why you are coming or sending your children to school as a teacher or as a student. We're here to teach, and we are here, as students, you are here to learn as well. Thank you, everyone. We are wishing you a great rest of the week, in teaching and learning, and also for the 2 weeks of vacation. Please do everything that you can to be safe, to follow all COVID protocols, social, distancing, continuing to wear your mask as much as you can while you are on break, continuing to try to stay away from large crowds so that when we come back after break, we don't have a lot of cases that are going to unfortunately be reported out. You can help us minimize those cases by doing your part at home in the community for the 2 weeks of fall break. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. We wish you a great evening and a great week of teaching and learning, and enjoy your break, and we'll see everyone real soon after the fall break. Thank you.